I know why gamers really dislike video game journalists, but I also noticed that the disdain is mutual and I don't understand why. Because most of the time, no, actually, all the time that video gamers dislike journalists is because of a reactionary reason. Like the journalist did something in order to have their comeuppance. Like they had to say something so dumb that people stop what it is what they were doing. They stop playing video games just to go on a forum and offer the constructive criticism and the constructive feedback to the journalist, right? But I don't get why the opposite is happening. Like take this news, for example. YouTuber Skyrim Grandma announces she is scaling back streams for the sake of her health after receiving onslaught of patronizing comments. Besides the fact that this is fake news, as we're going to see in a little bit, what image does this create towards the random Joe? Let's say that you don't play video games. What do you see? Well, you see an old lady that is having fun, and there are some assholes from her own community that are trying to hospitalize her with negative comments. Right? That's what we're getting. So what am I getting from reading this article? The vibe is that the gamers are pieces of shit, isn't it? That's the vibe that you're supposed to get. And the reason they're doing this is because, oh, well, look, I mean, people's health is at risk. We need trusted safety councils. We need more censorship. We need corporations to step in because people don't know how to use the internet. I'll tell you something. I had 3 jobs in my life. The one that I'm doing right now is being a YouTuber, and I can tell you all about patronizing comments. They're not nice when you get them, I agree. You know, you put a lot of effort into making a video, you put a lot of soul into it. Sometimes it doesn't land. You know, sometimes maybe you didn't fact check the story. Sometimes maybe you should have thought about it more. And it turns out that the people in the comments disagree with what you say and they're offering negative comments. Maybe you're just putting something that they really disagree with. So, you know, you're going to get negativity. It's bad. I'll tell you this. It's bad, especially if you have like 2 or 3 videos consecutively and they're all negative. I get it. But you know what? I also worked at a McDonald's when I was a teenager, and I got to deal with very nasty customers. I would not trade that experience for nothing in the world. Like the YouTube negative comments are far better than whatever it was I would have got at McDonald's. Like even the best day at McDonald's was worse than the worst day I had at YouTube. So that's the difference. Like when you get things like in your face, it's not as when you get it on the computer. And then when I work as a doctor, you know, imagine going to tell a family that their kid isn't going to make it. You know, compare that with negative comments. Which one do you think is actually worse? Right? I mean, I can't think of any job where you don't have to deal with some bad shit that can really emotionally impact you. Even like if you have the perfect job and you spend like 12 hours a day crunching at a company that you really like, the fact that you know you're not going to see your family that day is probably going to emotionally impact you. Right? You're going to have a boss, you're going to have colleagues. The idea that you can have a space where no negativity exists is a fucking utopia. And who's arguing for this utopia? The fucking journalists. They constantly argue for it. It's like, unless we reach the utopia, unless we have a place where no person on the internet gets to receive negative comments, there is more work to be done. More work, more censorship, more blocking the comment section, giving comment section disabilities, more power to the Trust and Safety Council, longer TOS. I swear to God, like I remember when YouTube used to have like 2 or 3 rules. Now you have like a huge book of TOS. They even have like this shit called the YouTube Academy, where you get to learn more about their TOSs because they're so complicated and intricate. Like, you should see the list that I have to go through whenever I file for monetization for a video. It's fucking ridiculous. All thanks to journalists like VG247 that have pushed this narrative that look like people actually have their health at risk because they see negative shit online. Like, I'm sorry to say this, but negative shit online always existed. Why? Because online is dehumanizing, that's why. Most people don't see the face of a grandma when they're posting in a YouTube comment section. They see letter on the screen. It's dehumanizing by default. But because it's dehumanizing by default, the opposite also works. Like, I remember back in the day, we used to have a pejorative for someone that would say, oh, I'm going to kick your ass over the internet. It was called an internet tough guy. You know, the type of person that's tough online. They're not going to get a plane and fly over into your country in order to beat you up, now will they? And like, everyone knew it's the fucking internet, and that's how the internet culture is like. Okay, you know, sometimes people are a little bit more edgy online. But it works the other way around. Okay, people are edgy to you, but you're like, oh, it's online. Just block and mute. That's how people used to work. Nowadays, it's not like that. Nowadays, it's a huge problem. It's for health. They even say like trust and safety, because without safety, you're in danger, right? So look at this shit. I just want to show you. You now have people like the dad who laughs, right? Gamers, stop being huge pieces of shit. This is why gamers hate these publications, right? They're making our community look bad. And the thing is, you can make a community look bad or you can make a community look good. It's up to you. Most things are shades of gray. You're not going to find the perfect community, but you're not going to find the evil community either, right? Like, most communities have various people. It all depends on what you're focusing on. And the journalists, they love to focus on the negativity. Constantly. They constantly love to focus. And they make the community look horrible. Why don't they talk about a gamer that did a charity stream in order to help the homeless or whatnot? Like, you think you can't find that? Why not talk about the gamer that, used video games in order to find meaning in his life? I mean, you have like, Broly Legs, I believe his name is, like a gamer who plays using his mouth because his arms aren't developed, so he can't play using his hand, and he actually goes to tournaments and shit. Why not talk about that? That's a fucking wholesome story. But no, we're going to talk about this instead, okay? We're going to cherry pick events that you're going to find online in order to fit an agenda and create the idea that gamers are evil people. And then you get this, okay? You get the actual grandma saying, I don't know who you are or where you get your ideas from, but there was no onslaught of patronizing comments. But yes, I am scaling back my videos due to health. Most people on my channel are very nice. I do wish you would delete this so it would go away. They didn't fucking delete it, as far as I know. Maybe they deleted it since. But when I looked at it at the time, they didn't. And it's very fascinating, right? Because they didn't even fact check the story. They didn't even bother talking with this person, right? They did nothing. They just went on a rumor. And they don't care. They completely tarnish the community. They completely throw egg on the entire community face to make it seem like gamers are unhinged people that attack grandmas in real life, and they get, the poor woman to be in the hospital when the gamers actually love this lady. As you can see, most of the comments she's getting are positive. Fuck are you talking about? And by the way, like, if you have over 5,000 comments, yeah, some of them are going to be negative, of course. But, like, what do you want to do? You can't have liberty and freedom without having people that are bad, and they're like, as long as they're not doing anything illegal, they're going to exist, but you're not going to have, like, everyone agreeing with you. But these journalists don't like freedom, I guess. Like, they like unity and strength. Unity and conformity, that's what they want. Yeah, so this is, like, a little bit of a rant that I wanted to do, because, like, a lot of people asking me, it's like, oh, why do gamers dislike video game journalists? And by a lot of people, I mean Romanians, right? Because like they don't get it, because they don't read the publications from California now. Like they read Romanian game journalists, which are actually quite different. And, they care about the community. They talk about nice things and whatnot. They don't focus on identity politics. Like, they usually talk about the game, specs and whatnot. Okay, fine. But they don't get it. It's like, why do people hate, like, video game journalists in the West? And you have to explain it. You have to make a video like this so they get it. This is just an example. Let me know what you guys think, though, and I'll see you in the comment section.